that when I was writing about depression, I became very much interested in how different mental health services are for people who have got education and income from what they are for people who do not have good education and income. The education allows you to understand what you're entitled to and to fight for it, and the income gives you a much better chance of getting it. In looking specifically at depression, I found that if you are essentially leading a pleasant middle-class life and you feel awful all the time, you wonder why you feel awful and you go to the doctor. And if you have an absolutely bleak life and you feel awful all the time, the way you feel seems to be in keeping with what your life is like, and it doesn't occur to you that you have an illness and you don't seek treatment. And so there is an enormous underdiagnosis of psychiatric disorders altogether, and depression in particular, among people who are impoverished. Often it turns out in those instances that it's not that the person is depressed because his or her life is so bleak, but rather that his or her life is so bleak because he or she is too depressed to be able to seize control and to fix what's wrong in his or her life. But to Kay's point about the politics, after I had done some work among people who were being picked up in academic studies through random screenings in public settings, diagnosed with depression, which they had not been aware they were experiencing, and brought into treatment, those people had extraordinary outcomes. They had these incredible turnarounds. They were transformed. They changed their lives, and there were many of them who started taking better care of their children, who no longer seemed to be headed into the juvenile justice program, who got jobs and were functional members of the economy, who were doing all of these fantastic things that they had not previously been able to do. One of them, I remember, said about the academic who had picked her up in the screening, "I prayed to the Lord to send an angel, and he heard my prayers." I mean, it was incredible. And I thought, well, I should go down and talk to people in government about the fact that there really should be programs of outreach for people in this situation because they have the potential to go through such a profound transformation.